Today, I would like to talk about a concept that's called universe of obligation. It's something you may have not heard of before, but I'm sure you've heard of the word obligation, or another synonym for it could be responsibility. So, we're going to talk about today those people or groups of people in which we feel responsible for individually. Who do you feel responsible for? Who do I feel responsible for? So I want you to start out by thinking about a time when you were an upstander, a time when you helped someone that was in need. Maybe it was just a little thing. Maybe it was a big thing. We're not going to be sharing this with each other. It's just something I want you to think about for a moment. So can you jot down in your notebook or on a blank piece of paper an idea? Go ahead. Was it a family member that you helped? Brother, sister, someone in your neighborhood? Maybe even a stranger. What did you do? What did it kind of feel like for you by helping? You might want to pause the video right now as you jot down a few of your ideas. Okay, next, you probably noticed on this slide that I've created 4 concentric circles. Can you do the same thing on a clean sheet of paper, perhaps in your notebook? And we're going to think of these as circle 1, circle 2, circle 3, and circle 4. Circle 1 being right in the middle. Make sure you have enough space in between, so you're going to be doing some writing in there and some labeling. Okay, back to this concept of my universe of obligation. We're going to be thinking about today people or groups who we feel responsibility for or an obligation toward. These concentric circles with you in the middle stand for the people or the groups that surround your own universe. You're at the center of your decisions and your choices. Who you feel responsible toward is part of that. Each circle after your own, which is number 1, represents the people to whom you feel most obligated. As the circles go out, the people do not become less important. You consider them important just by including them at all. So take a minute and think about what it means to be responsible for someone or obligated toward. And if you have a minute or a partner, you may pause the video and see if you can think about some of that. What does it mean to be responsible for someone? All right, now I'm going to start to fill out my circles or my universe of obligation. So, number 1, I'm going to grab my tab and I'm going to put myself right in number 1. And you can actually use your name if you'd like. This puts me at the center of my universe, kind of looking out, thinking of it as a physical location, not an indication that I'm being selfish and that everything revolves around me. Go ahead and write your name in number 1. Now, in the second circle, or number 2, I'm going to include the people whom I feel the greatest obligation or the responsibility. These are the people I would, without question, be an upstander for, no matter what. The people I'm willing to take a risk for, even when I'm in danger, no matter what the consequence is. And for me, that's very easy. That would be my family. In my family, I think of it as my husband, my children, my parents, my sister. I'm not going to write them individually in there, but I'm going to keep it as family. Your circle may look very different from mine. As you complete your charts, don't worry about writing individuals' names in this chart. Just you're going to be thinking of people as in groups. So, next, go something, and I kind of label this my daily friends. And they're kind of going to be probably in this third circle for me. And for me, daily friends mean people that I see almost on a daily basis or contact with. And I know they are responsible for me and I'm responsible for them. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. So I'm going to put them here in this third circle. Next, I'm going to think about, I have childhood friends, and I'm going to put them here. They're people that I know well, but not as often. So I'm going to kind of put them in between a 3 and a 4 for me. And also students that I work with, the same thing. And also my colleagues, my teacher friends, people that I work with in the buildings. Those are people that are very important to me, but this is where I'm going to place them. Of course, all the people you're putting in your diagram are important to you, no matter what circle they are in. You're simply using the circles to help you consider all of the people who are important to you, beyond those in your innermost circle. We will talk more about how these can shift between circles. So go ahead and give it a try. Something important to remember is that this is entitled My Universe of Obligation because it is mine. Your obligation is yours. Not that anyone else thinks it should be or what you think I'm going to think it is right or wrong. The universe of obligation chart is something we may use over and over again as we study other people and communities who had to make choices about who was in their universe of obligation. Now, in the beginning of this video, I asked you to think about a time you were an upstander. Is that person included in here? The person that you helped? If not, please include them now. The last thing I'm going to have you do is on the next slide, there is a short video. It is based on a book called Thank You, Ma'am by Langston Hughes. I want you to consider the universe of obligation when you're thinking about this video in this story. When you're finished listening, I want you to kind of put some thoughts in your journal about your thinking, about how between these two characters, the obligation or responsibility changed. What changed for them and why? And then you'll have a minute to share that with a friend. So please pause the video and go ahead and watch that and share your thinking. Now, it'd be interesting. I wish I could have a conversation with you right now and kind of have you see, how did it change? How was that responsibility changed? Now, there are others that would fit into my circle. I'm going to add one more. These are people that I don't see every day, people that I don't even know their names sometimes. But in the news, I am concerned about what is happening. And those are refugees coming from other countries. Now, they are not at the center or at my second circle, but I do feel responsible for them. And I would like to find some way that I can help them. So please add that to yours. And that is the end of our video. You can take a time and kind of share out your circles at this point. Thank you.